What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, TheWalk71, replaced Day with a 4, and I am back with another wrestling review for you all. This one being NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Now, this show was on Valentine's Day, so I know a lot of people, was with their significant other, clapping cheeks. Not me, though. Not me. Instead, I was watching good old-fashioned wrestling. And overall, this was a good takeover. I mean, they haven't really had a bad takeover yet. And I was starting to believe that this was gonna be like the first mid takeover until we got to like the main event, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, it was a good show overall. Like, I mean, compared to like watching the main roster pay per view, this is like amazing to watch, refreshing, you might add. Even though like Royal Rumble was good, but I don't think Elimination Chamber gonna be hidden. But anyways. Good pay-per-view. Before we even start, there was something important that happened on the pre-show, because I usually don't even talk about the NXT pre-shows because they don't have matches on it, so it's like pointless to just talk about people talking about a show that hasn't happened yet. So the thing is, Eli Drake, yes, former TNA World Champion or Impact World Champion, whatever you want to call him, has signed back with WWE. And Taya Valkyrie has also but Taya Valkyrie has also signed with WWE. She just hasn't made a TV appearance. But Eli Drake showed up as soon as it was like announced that he signed with WWE. And he has a new name. He's no longer Eli Drake. He's L.A. Knight. I don't know how that's gonna work. I can guarantee that someone like Eli Drake will make it work, just because it just seems like he knows how to make things work that aren't supposed to work. So I'm going to give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see where it goes and see what happens. But it's great to see him somewhere, because I haven't really seen him. I think the last time I saw him was in NWA. We haven't seen anything from NWA since, was it pre-corona? I think it was like pre-COVID. We haven't seen anything from NWA. I haven't, at least. Or at least I've seen a women's championship, but that's been on AEW. That's about it, though. But we open up the pay-per-view with the first of the two Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. First being the women's, which was Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus the team of Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. This match was actually really good. It was a great opener. I'm not even gonna lie. This match ruled. I liked Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon's dynamic of the tag team. I kind of hope that they continue to be a tag team after this. They're like a very, I don't know, I guess they work together because their gimmicks right now are so similar. They're just like punk, I wouldn't say punk rock, that's more Shotzi, but just kind of like the weirdos that like are badass kind of, and it just kind of works for them. So I just kind of hope they keep this tandem, but they'll probably just get rid of it after the classic. But this match was very interesting because it did stuff that I didn't really, I haven't really seen in a match in a good minute. I can't even remember the last match I seen. But there was a point where they had the heels fighting from underneath, because Shotzi and Ember was working on Dakota Kai's leg, her leg that she injured before. They was working on the leg, put her in heel hooks, all types of stuff. And I just like, that was very interesting because they did that twice, like back-to-back matches actually. I haven't seen a match like that where the heels are fighting from underneath. It's usually the other way around, so that was pretty interesting. But then once Raquel Gonzalez got the hot tag, she just started going crazy. She powerbombed Shotzi Blackheart into a barricade wall, the plexiglass with the cage on it. She just powerbombed her into that. I thought that was crazy. What else happened in this match? There was a chiropractor from Dakota Kai, which was cool. There was a go to kick assisted, like a GTS kick, but like Raquel Gonzalez was the one throwing the person, and Dakota Kai did the kick. Ember Moon had a what's the name? The eclipse. She had the eclipse on Raquel Gonzalez for a near fall. At some point in the match, there was like a point where it was just a 2-on-1 because Shotzi Blackheart was just like selling death from something. I forgot what exactly it was. Oh, there was another cool spot where Ember Moon had Dakota Kai in the electric chair position. No. I'm thinking of the other match. My bad. There was a cool spot where Ember Moon had her legs open in the middle rope, and then Shotzi Blackheart dove through it and did a suicide dive. I thought that was pretty cool. We get towards like the end of the match, and there seems like Ember Moon and Shotzi are about to win, and no, Raquel Gonzalez said hell no. She picked up Ember Moon, threw her ass on the ramp back first, and then threw her off of the ramp into one of the cage plexiglasses, and then they eventually went in. It looked like Shotzi Blackheart hit a sliced bread number 2 for a near fall as well. I thought that was pretty cool. I used to really love that move when Brian Kendrick did it. But we get towards the end of the match, and Raquel Gonzalez hits her I guess a powerbomb choke slam finish. It looks good. It's a good finish, and they win the match. And the first ever winners of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is an actual tag team, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And also in this match, the winners receive a future WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. So that should be an interesting dynamic to see Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus potentially Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, because the Nia Jax is kind of matched in terms of the power, and then Shayna Baszler has somebody to beat up with Dakota Kai. So this should be interesting. After that, we got the first of the 3 championship matches of the night. NXT North American Championship match. Johnny Gargano defending the North American title against the one and only Kushida. I was going to say Ricochet. Kushida. This match was actually interesting. Now, granted, it took a lot to build up to where it got interesting, but that's like most Johnny Gargano matches. And then I also saw on Twitter, a lot of people were complaining that the match was too long, but I'm like, it's a Johnny Gargano match. What did you expect? All of his matches go 20 to 25 minutes at the medium. This match was like 24 minutes, almost 25 minutes, actually. But it's a Johnny Gargano match. What did y'all expect? In this match, before the match started, there was I was gonna say a cut scene, but this is real life. There was a what do you call it? There was a moment before the match where Johnny Gargano and The Way is walking backstage. He also is rocking the X-Men colors. I thought that was pretty cool. He comes out, he's walking backstage, and if you look in the background, Austin Theory just gets kidnapped in the background. Nobody notices, and then he comes out, it's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and then they notice, where's Austin? And they leave, so then the match is essentially a one-on-one match. The match was good, though. Overall, it just, like I said, it just took a lot to build up to it really, like, going crazy. It was a lot of submission counters, a lot of wrestling-based moves. There was one cool part where Kushida did the suplex into the armbar on the outside. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, Kushida did like a flip into a armbar, and Johnny Gargano did like a twisting suplex, I guess, off the top rope. I thought that was cool. We get towards the end of the match, Kushida's working on Johnny Gargano's arm the whole time, and then eventually it gets to a point where Johnny Gargano starts working on Kushida's arm. And this is also the match I was talking about where I was saying the heel was working from underneath because Kushida kept working on Johnny Gargano's arm. There was even one part where they were on the outside and Kushida had a running start just to kick Johnny Gargano on the arm, and there was a point where Kushida had Johnny Gargano in the armbar and it looks like he was about to tap out. The referee is telling him, hey man, tap out, and Johnny Gargano's just fighting out of it, trying to get out of it, and then eventually gets to the rope. And when I saw that, I realized, oh, Johnny Gargano's going to win this match. So after that, Kushida gets right back into a Kimura lock, and he's by the ropes. He has Johnny Gargano. He's holding the submission hold, and then his head is like outside of the ropes, but they're still in the ring. And Johnny Gargano just yanks him into it, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. And then from there, Johnny Gargano hits the final beat DDT. I think he hit it on the ramp as well, and then in the ring, I believe, if I'm being correct. Let me look at my notes because I'm a geek. Let me look at the notes because I'm trying to remember exactly. Did he? Yeah. Okay, I was right. I think I was right. I just read that it was 2 of them, so let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and then Johnny Gargano retains the title, and that's actually good. It was a good match. It was a very excellent match. It was just too damn long, and it took forever to build up. But I mean, that's NXT. I thought Kushida was gonna win, but it seems like they're still going with the Johnny Gargano thing, and it's fine. I enjoyed this Johnny Gargano heel run. It's actually been very entertaining for the most part because it's just different to see Johnny Gargano not be the, oh, I'm happy to be here, I'm the underdog, I'm from Cleveland, my best friend turned on me, all that. Like, it's interesting to just see him just work a whole different character. Like, he did a complete 180 from what he was doing a year ago, you could say, with this character. So it's very interesting, and I feel like that character needs that championship, because then he's just a guy that just has a faction, but he doesn't have anything for the faction to really protect. So it's great to see him as champion. I don't know how much longer he's gonna be champion. I feel like Kushida's gonna get that rematch and he might win. You know, maybe they want to build a story with Kushida where it was like, yeah, he went crazy, but he might have to adjust something within himself in order to get that title, and then the next match he ends up winning it. Or maybe they'll just do a title switch on TV so they can get the ratings up or something. Who knows? So I mean, that match was great. Good, clean wrestling match. So after that, we get to the second of our two Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. This one being the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And then also the stipulation that they added is that the winners will receive a future NXT Tag Team Championship match. So it's MSK, formerly known as the Rascals. And just so you can envision, I did the little rascal thing as I said it. Nash Carter, formerly known as Zachary Wentz, and Wesley, formerly known as Desmond Xavier, versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. I guess they got to keep their names. This match was great. I like this match as well because both teams wrestled like actual tag teams. And I don't know. I don't know. I felt like in NXT for a good minute, even though they've had like legit tag teams win the tag titles and stuff, I haven't really felt like the teams have really been teams. In this match, I felt like the teams were actually teams in this match. I enjoyed it though for the most part. MSK did a lot of MSK stuff. Hot fire flame for a near fall. There was one cool spot with Desmond Xavier where he was just flipping. He was flipping all night. He was doing all types of flips. Did like a cartwheel, like Pele kick. He did a tope off of the turnbuckles to the outside, but like didn't jump off of it. He just like went from the ground to the air on top of Grizzled Young Veterans. And then Grizzled Young Veterans in this match are really good in their role of just trying to ground MSK when they were trying to do all their high-flying offense and whatnot. They would just come in and ground it. There was one cool spot where, Zach Gibson had Wes Lee on his shoulders in an electric chair position on the outside. This is the spot I was talking about earlier that I got confused. And then James Drake came in with a suicide dive clothesline and just killed Wes Lee. I thought that was crazy. Let's see. We get towards the end of the match. Like I said, lots of flipping. It looks as though, let's see, there was a part where Grizzly Young Veterans did the suplex into the 450 for a near fall. I believe they hit that on Wes Lee. Yeah, it was Wes Lee. Yep. Yeah, I remember now. It was Wes Lee, so that took him out, and then it just came down to the Grizzly Young Veterans trying to basically two up on Nash Carter, but Nash Carter won with that. He started punching, chopping, all types of stuff, going crazy before they eventually try to set up for their finisher, which I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Ticket to Mayhem, maybe? Who knows? And Wesley came in for the save, takes out, I forgot who he takes out one of the Grizzly Young Veterans, and they set up for their finish. Hit it, which is like a neck breaker. It's a neck breaker, but Nash Carter is holding the opponent kind of like in a heart attack position, and then Wesley jumps off and does a neck breaker, and it's pretty cool match. And they end up winning the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It was I kind of knew they were gonna win just because if you're getting a future title shot, the current NXT Tag Champs are heels, and granted, heel versus heel matches are the shit. Like, it can be really good. I feel like it's a better dynamic to do heel versus heel to see who's more evil than each other than to see like two good guys face each other. So that would have been interesting. But I feel like with MSK, they are putting a rocket on them and they are shooting them to the top. They're doing what Impact should have done with them. And like, now granted, when they signed with Impact, they weren't as known as they are now. But during their run, they could have snuck in a tag team title run. But the only problem is they just had the North and they was just going crazy with their title reign. So it was just kind of like, it's just kind of like it's messed up. But I think they're going to shoot MSK out of the way, and they're going to end up winning them tag team titles like in the future. They might do a DIY storyline where they, don't win the first match,
but they don't like actually lose in terms of getting pinned. It's just like somebody passes out or somebody taps out just out of like a desperate need to not like, you know, be injured. And then eventually they'll win the titles, and then the crowd will go crazy. The fake crowd will go crazy. But I enjoyed this match. It was probably the best tag match I've seen in NXT in a good minute. That wasn't like a gimmick match. This was a good like tag match. And I feel like in WWE, just based off of how they treat tag teams, getting a good tag team match is like rare these days. Like, you know, back in 2017 we was getting classics with New Day and the Usos, and now it's just like you gotta hope you get a good classic tag team match every year. But this match was good. And MSK won. That made me happy. That was cool. So after that, we get to the second of our 3 championship matches. We get a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. This match was short, and it felt short, but I mean, for the most part, it was impactful. Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's Championship against Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. This match was cool. It just like, I don't know. I felt like this match could have been longer, but it felt long, and it was only 12 minutes. Like, I'm looking at the time, I'm surprised it was only 12 minutes because it felt like it was 20 minutes. But the match overall, I mean, big stuff happened. Before the ring announcer even did the intros, Mercedes Martinez instantly attacked Io Shirai and went after Toni Storm, and they just started going at it. Io Shirai did a dive off of one of these like steel composts, because that's like what she does in every match. Because in a War Games match, she jumped off with a trash can on her head. That was cool. There was actually a funny part, and I'm like, this might be the first time I've ever seen this in wrestling, where Toni Storm, it looked like she's about to set up to put somebody through a table, and I'm pretty sure that's why they just said, fuck it, we're gonna end the match early, because the table spot just like ruined the match maybe. But Toni Storm, just all she did was touch the table, and the table collapsed, and I was just like, what the whoa, how did that happen? Wait a minute. I was like so confused, because it was just like, did they gimmick the table more than they already have? And they might have gimmicked it too much to the point where the motherfucking table just collapsed. Because that shit was just like, whoa, how? It was just like mind-boggling, because I've never seen that in wrestling, where the announce table just collapses on its own. But then again, it is what it is. We get towards the end of the match. Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm are going at it. I'm trying to remember like what got them in the position. Let's see if I can remember correctly. Yeah. Okay, so they basically, Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez are basically just fighting into the ring, hitting finishers on each other, with Storm doing Fisherman Buster in the middle of the ring. Not Storm, Martinez hitting. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Hopefully you'll get it. Storm kicks out though. Then Storm hits a headbutt and then nails the Storm Zero. But then as soon as Martinez kicks out, as soon as he kicks out, Toni Storm does some more stuff, and then Io Shirai comes out of nowhere with a moonsault and hits both of them and pins Mercedes Martinez and wins. It's a good match, a good triple threat match. I just felt like I don't know, the match felt like 20 minutes, but it was only 12. And now, like, looking at this the day after, I'm like, wow, they could have went longer, but I don't know if they should. Because it wasn't like a lot of crazy stuff that happened up until the point where Io Shirai did the diving crossbody off that little steel post or whatever. Like, there was, like, I don't even know. There wasn't much else that happened before that. Like, Io Shirai had Mercedes Martinez, I believe, in a crossface. Toni Storm got slammed into stuff. Mercedes Martinez did some stuff, but it was just like, it was a cool match. I mean, the right person won, and that's all I could ask for, which was cool. So after that, before we get to the main event, there was actually a NXT footage of LA Knight, now formerly known as Eli Drake, signing his NXT contract, and that's great. I appreciate them using him, because I feel like NXT needs somebody that can cut promos, and he's the guy that can cut the greatest of great promos. So this would be interesting to see. Just have to mention that again. So now we get to our main event, NXT Championship match. Finn Balor defending the NXT champion, the Prince, defending his throne against the Bruiserweight Peter Dunne. Pete Dunne. This match was great too. I enjoyed this match. It was long, but it's NXT. All main events got to be 25 minutes or 30 or 40. It can't be it can't be no less than 25 minutes. And this match was cool. It was a very technical match, which was interesting to see Balor kind of work a technical match because Pete Dunne was working on his arm and hand, and Balor was working on Dunne's ankle and leg. So that was an interesting dynamic. And this is another match kind of where the heel was, I wouldn't even say the heel was working from underneath because he was really like as much punishment as he was getting, he was giving equally. So it was just like, okay. It was good. Once the match started to pick up though, that's when it really got interesting, which is pretty much how NXT is. You know, after they get through all the submission, technical sequences and all that, and like I said, I've said this in a live stream I was watching this on, like a watch party that I was watching alongside the pay-per-view. But no matter how many Pete Dunne matches, I've seen him in person, I've seen him on TV. No matter how many Pete Dunne matches, that finger snap never not shocks me. Every time he does, I'm just like, oh my God, because it's just like, it's crazy. And he did a lot of that in the match. And Finn Balor sold his hands too, which was interesting. So we get to the later part of the match. Both men are basically, fighting back. Pete Dunne tries to go for that backflip off the top rope, but kind of sells his leg if it was a botch or not. And they kind of, worked on it. Finn Balor instantly takes out his knee again. Pete Dunne hits a sit-out power bomb. That's like, he has one of the best sit-out power bombs in WWE to me because he really throws his body into that sit part. Like, he picks it up, and when he's about to slam you, he in the air too. And I think that's like a really cool move. Balor does a stomp to the back. Pete Dunne is still messing with his fingers. And then Pete Dunne hits a bitter end for a near fall, which I thought was pretty cool. And then once that happened, Pete Dunne, he's just shocked, doesn't know what to happen. Then after that, Dunne rocks Balor, goes for another power bomb, but Balor turns into a DDT, and then Balor is just going crazy, right? He goes crazy. He's selling his hands because he's like, I don't know why he did this, but it was like he took all of his fingers and just bent them, so it looks like he's grabbing on something. And he did that, and then he just kicked Pete Dunne in the jaw. Went from that, because that's like been the story of Finn Balor since that match with Kyle O'Reilly, is that like he's trying to protect his jaw. Each match he's trying not to break his jaw, so he's going to do everything he can to not break his jaw, and it seems like they're just doing that. So once he did that, he charged Pete Dunne with a kick to the face, jaw, whatever you want to call it. Then after that, Pete Dunne tries to go for another bitter end, but Balor gets out of it, but instead reverses into a 1916 for a near fall, and then Dunne is just he kicks out. Balor is had enough. Pete Dunne grabs Balor's hand again because look, he's about to try to break his fingers again, but Balor's like, fuck no. Grab that man's arm, start doing the Daniel Bryan stomps to the back of the head, and then from there he does the double stomp to the back like I mentioned. Then from there, Finn Balor just goes into super killer mode. He takes Pete Dunne's mouthpiece out, hits him with a drop kick to the face, then goes for the coup de grace. Then after the coup de grace, goes for the 1916 and retains the title. That was a good match. Took a little bit to get me into it, but once they got into it, they went crazy. It was a good match. Finn Balor retained, right person won. Then after that, Balor is immediately attacked by Pete Dunne's, I guess you could say his, backup, the NXT Tag Champs, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They come in, they beat up on Finn Balor, they beat him up. Pete Dunne starts getting into it, and then as that happens, Undisputed Era comes out, and then they run. Then after that, the Undisputed Era poses. It looks like they're about to pose with Finn Balor. Kyle O'Reilly comes in the ring and he talks to Finn. Is like, oh yeah, you went crazy. Shook his hand, helped him back up, and it looks like they're about to pose. Balor's about to do the little finger pew 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 pointing, and then Adam Cole super kicks Finn Balor, and I was like, oh okay, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, but that wasn't it. After that, Kyle O'Reilly's just looking at him. He's like, come on, bro, what are you doing? we supposed to be cool. And then he super kicked Kyle O'Reilly for throwing up the set, man. He super kicked him for trying to get that man to throw up the set. But anyways, it looks as though this is going to be the end of the Undisputed Era. And if it is, ooh, shit, whoa. It's interesting. Very interesting if the Undisputed Era is done. I'm pretty sure they might just like trying to separate people so they can have more single stars, which would be cool. Roderick Strong the whole time was just like conflicted and shocked because he was in the ring the whole time. Kyle O'Reilly is out there. Adam Cole leaves the ring and the fans boo, and that is the end of NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. We had to end the pay-per-view on a heartbreak on Valentine's Day, but overall, good show. I'd say my favorite match was the women's tag match. The main event slapped, and I like both of the Dusty Tag Cup matches. Those tag matches really hit on a different level for me. And the main event was good once it started to pick up. And then the little segment at the end with Adam Cole was cool too, because now it seems like, now it's mystery. We don't know what's going to happen when we turn on NXT on Wednesday. But anyway, guys, that was the pay-per-view review. I shall be back with another review for AEW Revolution, which is on a Sunday, and I'm just like, I don't like pay-per-views that could be on Saturdays or on Sundays. I don't like it. It's just kind of, I don't know. I just like the pay-per-views being on Saturdays because then I can go and do stuff after that, but now I can't because I'm in school. But yeah, so I'll be back with AEW Revolution. Should be a really good show as well. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Do you just support me on all of my social media links down in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.